my name is Sophia Stark. I am your Miss Hawaii Teen Volunteer 2021. I was crowned in March of 2021, so a little bit earlier this year. And so far I've been able to serve my community as a title holder and also as a spokesperson for the American Lung Association. And I still have some more left of my year of service. So I'm looking forward to continuing to serve my community and give back in any way that I can.
You have the longest reign because you are the first candidate in teen category who was crowning. Are you happy to be crowning the first Miss Hawaii Teen Volunteer?
Yes, I certainly am. When I first heard about the Miss Hawaii Teen Volunteer pageant, I was actually really excited to run for an inaugural pageant. It was something that I had done before, so I thought that it would be really interesting to kind of trailblaze my way through a brand new system. And so far, I've loved every moment of it. I've loved being able to help my directors continue to grow and learn more about how to put on a pageant, and especially because we had our Miss Hawaii Volunteer pageant. I believe that you already spoke with our newly crowned representative. So it's just a really amazing system because I've been a volunteer for almost my whole life. I think ever since I was around 4 or 5 years old. So this platform just really spoke to me as someone who loves being out in my community and just serving everyone in it. Yes, I think that service and volunteerism are one of the main reasons why I decided to try out for this pageant. Like I said, I've been volunteering ever since I was really young. And both my parents are professional musicians as well as teachers. They both teach music. My mom is an opera singer and she teaches voice, and my dad is a violinist and a violist. So he teaches at a few local schools here, and he also has some private instruction as well. So we've actually been able to perform as a family, usually throughout the holidays, for around the past decade. So I've just really loved volunteering ever since I was around 5 years old, as I mentioned before, and I just hope to continue doing this. Oh, wow. I think probably the moment that I was crowned, I think that was probably one of my favorite moments. I was just so excited to be able to represent Hawaii in another system because I'd been crowned Miss Hawaii's Outstanding Teen back in 2018. So I was really excited to be given another chance to represent Hawaii, especially on a national level when I compete at Miss Teen America. And most of all, I was just excited just to be on another journey of being a pageant title holder, and I'm just can't wait to see where it will take me.
In April, you go to Jackson in Tennessee. It's not the same climate between Tennessee and Hawaii.
Yes. I hope that it'll still be a little bit warmer than some of the states that are further up north, such as like New York and Maine. But I do have a few warmer clothing options so that I'll stay nice and warm just in case it does get a little bit cold there. Oh, wow. I think I'm most looking forward to meeting all of the other wonderful young ladies who are representing the other states in our amazing country. I know that making friends through pageantry is one of my favorite aspects of being in the pageant system. And I know that when I won my previous title back in 2018, I actually was honored as the Miss Congeniality Award winner at the national pageant. So that was such an honor to have all the other contestants, and they voted for me to win an additional scholarship for, I guess, being congenial. And just really bringing the Aloha spirit, as we like to call it here in Hawaii. I was just so glad to be able to bring all my happiness and joy at the pageant, and I can't wait to do the same thing in Jackson. So for this competition, I will be singing. It's funny because I also am a dancer and I also play piano and organ, but I think that singing is definitely one of my strongest talents. So I will most likely be singing a song called Never Enough. It's from The Greatest Showman. And I really love musicals. So this is definitely going to be an amazing chance for me to perform this really spectacular song. Oh, I actually really enjoy all aspects of competition. I know when I was younger, I used to dread the interview portion, but through a lot of training and just really honing my skills of being able to talk in front of a panel of judges, I've actually gotten a lot more comfortable with that phase. So I think that interview and talent are my favorite phases of competition. I think that one of my best assets would be my ability to be able to adapt very quickly. I think that living through this past year, well, past almost 2 years of the pandemic has really shown me how important it is to be able to adapt and really be flexible, especially as basically everything that I enjoy doing in life has been moved to a virtual platform, whether it's Zoom or making pre-recorded videos. And this just really taught me that we can't ever really take anything for granted in life. I know often with the arts, we tend to think of being able to perform in front of a live audience more of as a right rather than a privilege. So I think that definitely being able to, I guess, just mold myself to fit whatever situation and whatever circumstance might arise is definitely going to be one of my strongest assets as a contestant.
I imagine you was able to adapt during the pandemic for the preparation of the national. What is the most difficult for you during this preparation?
Oh, I think one of the most difficult things was when I was crowned with this title. Our entire pageant, we were not able to have an audience because of the restrictions, and we also had to wear a mask the whole time, even for talent. And because I'm a singer, a mask and singing doesn't necessarily go well together. But luckily, my mom was actually able to get me a special singer's mask. So it's like a specially designed mask that makes it a lot easier to sing, but it's still not the most ideal thing, even when you have a microphone. But yeah, I think having to wear a mask the whole time and not being able to enjoy a live audience was probably one of the most challenging aspects of competing. Oh, I think during the shutdown, I think I was able to really work on myself. I think it gave me a lot of time to really have an introspective and growth mindset. So I've actually kind of delved into a lot of different social issues, racial issues, well, especially with everything that was going on last year. I know that my family and I, we often talk about how it feels like the last 2 years that the amount of events that have happened, it feels like it should have happened in 10 years instead of just 2. So I know that there's just been so much going on, and I've tried to absorb as much as I can and just continue to inform myself about all the different problems that are facing my generation and other generations. Because I know that if we as a species, as humans, if we can't continue to grow and learn from one another and learn to be more tolerant and accepting, that our world's not going to be able to survive for much longer. So I know that that's one of the things that I strive to do, is that I strive to always inform myself about whatever's going on, and I want to encourage others to do the same as well. My platform is called Benefiting the Arts through Arts Advocacy. As I mentioned before, my whole family is musicians. My parents are professionals, and my brother and I have performed for countless of hours in many different kinds of performances. So my platform is really about educating those in our community, as well as appealing to lawmakers and policymakers within our state, and actually eventually I'm hoping especially on a national platform too. And my platform is really just to advocate for the promotion of arts education and just really spread the message that arts are such a vital part of our communities. And I'm really hoping that I can raise funding to help to keep them in our schools and in our communities. I actually had to write a paper for one of my college courses. I wrote a whole essay about the benefits of arts education. So it was definitely inspired by my platform, and I hope to continue to raise more funds and support local arts organizations.
What is your best memory of with your platform?
Oh, I think one of my best memories was definitely when my family and we were invited to go to Shanghai, China a few years ago to teach and perform there. So I was actually in charge of teaching, I think it was around 8 or 9 little girls how to dance hula. And it was a challenging experience, but I had so much fun being able to teach all these little Chinese girls how to dance hula, as really everything about hula was kind of foreign to them, especially because during hula, we smile a lot, we use our bodies and our hands to make all the expressions, because hula is it's a very beautiful and it's an art form that really tells a story. So I think that was definitely one of my favorite things I've ever done regarding my platform. And in addition, that experience really showed me how much I love teaching. I know before that, I've always, enjoyed watching my mom and dad teach, all their students, but I never really realized how much of a passion that I had for being able to educate others. So that experience really opened my eyes to how important it was to share cultures across literally the borders of countries and cross oceans, to be able to have that shared culture experience, but also for some of my own personal goals as well, which included becoming a teacher.
You hope to become a teacher. I imagine you will be a great teacher because your parents communicate with you your passion.
Yes.
And during the national, you can learn the Hawaii dancing to the other delegates, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, that would be so fun. I would totally love to teach them how to dance hula and show them a few of our basic steps.
Maybe on the stage we have a project with all candidates dancing the Hawaii dance.
I don't know, that might be something to consider. If I do win nationals, maybe for the next year, when we have the girls for next year, I could always teach them how to dance a simple hula. That's actually a good idea. I might file that away for later use. There's actually a few things that I want to communicate to my generation if I were to win the national title, but I think one of them is definitely the importance of arts. I know that it's my platform and it's something that's been very dear to me for a long period of time. And I just want to stress to my generation that creativity is such an important facet of life, no matter what kind of ways that you enjoy being creative, whether it's through pottery, through the visual arts, whether it's through dancing, through playwriting, through directing a musical, or directing a movie per se, or even like photography or something a little bit more out of the box. I think that really encouraging others to explore their creativity is definitely a very beneficial thing, even if those students or those people decide not to go into a creative field for a career. But I think that those skills that you will learn through pursuing a creative or an artistic interest will just be so beneficial to whatever you decide to do later on in life. So that's definitely one thing that I would stress to my generation. Another thing that I would stress is the importance of just being open and most importantly, being open-minded. As I mentioned before, the pandemic has taught me so much about myself, and it's taught me so much about the wonderful, wide, crazy world around me. And I think just encouraging my generation to just really be able to absorb everything that's going on around them. That sometimes you don't necessarily have to understand another person in order to be able to appreciate their culture or to appreciate what they might bring to the table. And I think just stressing how we're all so similar in so many ways, and that a lot of us are more similar than we are different. And I think that's definitely a very important message to be able to share. So along with the benefits of the arts and being open-minded, those are the two things that I want to stress most. Ooh, there's so many wonderful things about living out here, such as like the warm temperature, the gorgeous beaches, the sunsets, and all of the nature that we have. But I think probably one of my favorite things about Hawaii is definitely the nature. I know I've grown to appreciate it even more after being under lockdown for many months. I know like the first time that we were able to go to the beach as a family, since when the lockdown restrictions were lifted a little bit here, it was an amazing experience. I was like, oh my gosh, it's the sand and the wind and the waves and the trees blowing in the wind. It was just truly amazing, and it just really showed me just the pure beauty of the Hawaiian Islands. I've been able to go to, I think, 4 or 5 of our islands, and I've loved every single one of them. I just love the beaches and how clean it is here, and then also how respectful that we have to be in order to be able to preserve all of this wonderful beauty, and also how appreciative we have to be of the Native Hawaiians for taking care of these lands, and a lot of them are also sacred to the Native Hawaiian people. So I think being able to appreciate all of the nature and just all the amazing things that Hawaii has to offer. I hope to be able to represent the Aloha spirit. As I mentioned earlier. So the Aloha spirit is just kind of this way of thinking that really embodies happiness, joy, and just being really caring and open to everyone around you. It doesn't necessarily have like any one definition, because there's so many things that a person can do that would be considered spreading the Aloha spirit. So I just want to be able to embody some of that joy and happiness and be able to spread it around to all of the other contestants, and hopefully to the judges as well.
Are you a fashionista?
Yes, I would consider myself a little bit of a fashionista. Well, actually, again, being in the pandemic, I've been able to research a lot more about different styles of clothing, and I guess just learning how to style outfits, especially because for college, I'm going to be moving away, hopefully to New York to study musical theater. So I know my mom's she's been telling me, you know, you're going to have to learn how to layer and dress for warm and dress for colder weather, because here in Hawaii, we really only dress for one kind of weather that's warm and sunny. You know, we get an occasional rain, but it's usually nothing where the temperature drops like very cold. So I'm going to have to learn how to get used to dealing with colder weather. But yes, I would consider myself a little bit of a fashionista.
Who is your favorite designer?
Oh my goodness. I love so many, but I think Chanel is definitely one of my favorites. I really, really love French culture. I do love Italian too, but I'll just focus on French. So yeah, I think I love Chanel ever since I was I think around 8 or 9, I think I read a book about Coco Chanel, and that just really inspired me because I'm also an artist too. So I love coming up with my own designs for different kinds of clothes. I could never sew them or anything, but but I just love just using, kind of getting my creative juices flowing, and just really kind of thinking outside the box. But I think a lot of French couture has inspired me in the way that I dress, and also the way that I like to draw different figures.
What do you like the most in the French culture?
Oh, I think I love the French language. I've actually been taking French since I was pretty young. And my family and I, we've been able to travel to France twice. I love going to Paris, and we also went to Lyon, and we went to this little town, I think it's north or south of Lyon, called Pierre-Latte, and that's where my French teacher lived. So it was so cool to be able to experience, I guess, like the countryside of France. Everything was just so beautiful. But I think one of my favorite aspects of French culture is definitely the food. I love meat and just all of the fresh preparations of French cuisine. I know that Paul Bocuse was definitely one of my culinary inspirations, as well as Julia Child, who got a lot of her inspiration from the French way of cooking. And I think that French cuisine and French culture, everything's just so beautiful and very, how do you say it? Je ne sais quoi. But I don't know. There's just something just so special and unique about French culture that I've always just loved. And I think Paris is probably one of my favorite cities. So there's that too.
What is your favorite dish?
Oh, I'm torn between filet mignon and any kind of duck preparation. I know I've had some really amazing food when I was able to travel to France. And I remember we went to this one place that had a duck preparation. I think it was called the Rôtisserie de l'Argent. And the duck there was amazing. It was like mind-blowingly delicious. And I was like, I could eat this every day. Of course, like, it wouldn't be as special because I would get it every day, but I think I probably could have eaten it every day. Yes, I am. I was actually on MasterChef Junior. I was on season 6 of MasterChef Junior with Gordon Ramsay. Actually, I was 11 going on 12 when we filmed the show. So I was a lot younger. But I think that a lot of the advice and just the experience that I had, it's really shaped me into who I am today. That experience kind of really, I guess, jump-started my whole involvement with being in competitions, and then later moving on to pageantry and other kinds of scholarship competitions. So yes, I consider myself a pretty good chef.
I have a proposition for you. In 2022, Inside Pageant create a charity book, a cooking charity book for St. Jude Hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the name for the moment of this project is Cooking with Beauty Queen.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
One recipe by one beauty queen. Do you want to participate to this charity book?
Yes, I would be honored to. That sounds amazing.
Yes, we create a charity book per year, and for the first, it's a cooking book.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's like great timing. Oh. I think one of my best beauty secrets is getting a lot of sleep and drinking enough water. I know that drinking enough water is sometimes hard. Like, sometimes during the day you forget to drink water. And then at the end of the day, you're wondering why you're so thirsty. And then you realize, oh, it's because I didn't have enough to drink today. So yeah, I think that's definitely one of the things I've been trying personally to do more of, is to make sure I'm drinking enough water and also getting plenty of sleep. I know that it's really tricky, especially when you're in school like me and you have tests and assignments due. But something that I found out is that whenever I try and sacrifice sleep for attempting to get schoolwork done, it's never really it never turns out quite as well. I find that if I just take that extra hour to sleep a little bit more, then I'll actually wind up being a lot more productive throughout the day. So yes, drink water and get lots of sleep.
You have the time to sleep because you are a lot of busy with your court duty, with your study, with your family and friends.
Yes, I don't know, I guess I always just find the time to be able to get enough sleep. I always try and get at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep. And it's sometimes difficult, but I somehow manage. Oh, on TikTok, I haven't really posted anything. I'm more just I'm just on the platform just to watch what other creators have done. But I am on Instagram. I do have an account. It's sophia.i.stark. That's my personal account. And then I also have a Miss Hawaii Teen Volunteer account as well. That's the Miss Hawaii Teen Volunteer account is a lot newer, so I don't think we really have much posted yet. But there will be more things coming soon. Oh, this is a tricky question because there are so many wonderful and beautiful and talented young women out there, but I think that one of my favorites was probably Savvy Shields. She was Miss America in 2017, and I actually still follow her on social media today. And she always talks about her experience as Miss America, and I love her so much because she talks about all the great things that came out of her year, but she also talks about the challenges and the struggles that she had to deal with, in her personal life and even through having the title. But I think it's so great that she's open to sharing, I guess, everything about being a title holder, that it's not always roses and pretty things, that sometimes things do get really real, and sometimes you have to just buckle down and get through it. But I think she's probably one of my favorites. Oh, on my phone, I think my camera roll. I have taken some pretty funny pictures. Yeah, because I think that I think probably a lot of my pictures. I tend to take a lot of random shots of my friends and stuff. And then sometimes my friends will take my phone and just start spamming it with random things. And then I'll take it back and I'll look through and I'm like, why are there 100 blurry pictures of you jumping in the air? But yeah, that's probably one of the funniest things.
If you lose your phone, are you desperate?
Yes, if I were to lose my phone, that would not be very good. And actually, I did that once. It was actually when my family and I were coming back from a trip to Italy, and I didn't know that I had left my phone on a plane before we had a layover to get onto another plane. So we were at the gate about to board our next flight, and then the flight attendant, she scans my ticket and she says, "Oh, we have your phone." And I'm like, are you sure? I could have sworn it's just in my bag right here. They're like, "No, we have your phone." And then another flight attendant comes over with my phone, and I didn't even know I'd left it on the other plane. So I was like, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I don't know what I would have done without this."
I lose my phone each week.
Oh no.
I put on the table, on the desk, and I go out without.
Oh no. You're like, where's my phone?
No, I am not. I love walking without phone. Have a journey without phone.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. I agree. Sometimes it's nice, not having to worry about checking it. But I think if I were out somewhere and my parents were trying to contact me, that would not be good. They're like, where are you? Where are you? I would say to those people that respectfully, I think that you are wrong. And here's why. In order to be crowned as a pageant title holder, regardless of the system, you have to not only be beautiful and talented and be able to walk with grace, poise, and confidence, but you also have to be very smart and very dedicated to not only your platform, but also to current world issues, and just be very informed as a person. So being a pageant queen is definitely not for everyone. And it takes a very special kind of person to be able to really master all of these different facets of being the face and voice of an organization. So like I said, you not only have to be beautiful and know how to conduct yourself and wear nice clothes and put on a crown, but you also have to be very driven as a person. You have to set goals for yourself. You have to keep up with a very busy schedule. You have to know how to answer any question that the judges might throw your way. You have to know how to conduct yourself in any kind of event, whether it's a formal event or whether you're working with like elementary school children. You have to know how to be able to represent yourself to the best of your ability, and also be able to represent the organization that you are a title holder under. So I would say to those people that being a pageant queen isn't all just about lashes and makeup and fancy dresses, that there's a lot more substance to being a pageant queen. Yes, I do. Hello, I'm so glad that you watched this interview today. I hope that you've learned a little something. I also hope that you're taking care of yourself, because self-care and self-love is so important, and I cannot stress that enough. Make sure that you're drinking enough water, like I mentioned before, and just get as much sleep as you can, please. It's so important to be able to take care of yourself. And also, I would encourage you to go out today and just find one thing that makes you really happy. And you can either experience that thing, or you can look at that thing, or you can be with a person, but just do whatever makes you happy. Just do one thing that makes you feel joy, and it's even better if it will make you laugh. But yeah, I just say you have to be able to take care of yourself before you can pour your love and pour your heart out to other people. You have to make sure that you're really taking care of yourself. So to all my fans, I'd like to say thank you again so much for listening to my interview, and I hope that you have an amazing day.